The frontal lobe, precentral gyrus forming the posterior border of the frontal lobe, contains the primary motor cortex.
The frontal lobe contains most of the dopamine-sensitive neurons in the cerebral cortex.
The frontal lobe is separated from the parental lobe by a space between tissues, central suissus, and from the temporal lobe by a deep fold called the lateral sulcus.
The frontal lobe controls voluntary movements of specific body parts.
Judgment, what are you cooking today?
The Broca's area.
How are you making it?
Well, first, I started with the left hemisphere of the brain. Then I sprinkled some functions linked to speech production to add some flavor.
And reasoning, what are you making today?
The central sulcus, a divide between the parietal lobe and the frontal lobe made by nerve cells. Oh, I'm in the back.
So logic, what have you prepared?
I've prepared the motor cortex. My dish contains nerves that control the execution of voluntary muscle movement.
Emotion, what is your dish?
I have made the prefrontal cortex.
Interesting, how is it made?
I started off with the anterior part of the frontal lobes of the brain, lying in front of the motor and premotor areas. To add some zest to it, I sprinkled in some personality, expression, planning of the complex cognitive behavior, and a few other spices.
Yes.
Go.
There we go.
Go.
Better judgment from my frontal lobe is telling me this is good.
The reasoning of my frontal lobe is telling me this is really good.
The logic in my frontal lobe is telling me I'd eat this again.
The emotion in my brain is telling me that this is really great.